Hi guys, I'm going to show you how we make maple syrup up at our cottage. You can see how deep our snow is up here. It's almost up to my knees. So the first thing you'll need to make maple syrup, you'll need a bucket and a lid. You'll also need a drill and a hammer. How we tell that they're maple trees, every summer or fall, we come in here and we spray paint the trees that we're gonna drill.
By putting a little red dot on it, so we'll know that it's a maple tree.
Yeah.
Because right now, what's not on the trees?
No leaves.
So we can't tell which one's maple, right? Unless we were really, really good with our eyes. Another way you can tell is checking out the different type of bark. So this is bark of a maple tree. And this is the bark of a pine tree. You can see some of the different kind of sticky sap coming out of it. And up there in the back, that's a birch tree. See the white? That's how you tell it's a birch tree. Yep. So all these trees have different types of leaves, but what we're after is the sap from a maple tree. So Max is gonna drill a hole for us, and we're gonna get a tap in, and when it warms up and the snow starts to melt, the sap's gonna drip.
Okay, so first thing you need to know, when you drill, you don't drill straight. You kind of drill on an angle. Because if it's going straight and then it hits a straight, it won't really go through. If it's on an angle, it will come through faster.
Kind of like going down a slide, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Max, start drilling.
Here I drilled my hole, and I'm going to tap the tap in. Okay, it's all in. Now we need to put the bucket on. It's hard.
So we use a lid because up above there's lots of debris from the trees. There's tons of snow that falls up here, as you can see. So the lid just kind of keeps the sap clean. And as soon as the sun starts to do its job, everything around here will start to get really warm. Right now, it's about -20 up here. We're in Bancroft, Ontario, so it's really much colder than it is in Toronto.
Yeah, way colder up here.
So it's not running yet, but soon it'll start running, and down from here will drip the sap, and it will catch into the bucket. Then we're going to collect the sap, and what are we going to do with it, Max?
We're going to boil it. We have a lot of buckets that me and my uncles tapped. We tapped 370 buckets. I know, that's a lot. Now I'm going to take you over to where we cook it. Gonna burn it all in maple syrup season. It's definitely taller than me compared. Yeah, it's taller than me. Guys, I'm gonna show you our kitchen. So my grandfather built this tree. And this is where we took all of the maple syrup. And these two fireplaces. Well, the fire goes under, and then the sap goes in here.
So you guys might recognize what this is. We repurposed something from an elementary school. This is a sink from the elementary school bathrooms, where all the kids, you used to step on a little plate down here, and then a fountain used to be in the middle, and it would squirt out water for you to wash your hands after you went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So what we did was we took this big basin, because it's so huge, and my dad welded on this base. Max, can you open it up there? We collect wood throughout the year. As you can see here, all this wood, this big, huge pile, and extra buckets, and we put a big roaring fire inside of here. And when we fill up the basin with sap, we have to boil it for about 8 hours when this entire basin is full.
Yes.
All the smoke goes up this huge chimney here. And when we're done and need the syrup to come out of the basin, we have a pour spout over here, and that's what those extra buckets are for. When we need to take out, when the sap has turned into maple syrup, we open up this lever and it will pour out here into the bucket. And what we're doing while we're boiling down the sap is we're removing the water from it and changing its viscosity, which is the thickness of the liquid. And it turns into maple syrup.
Yeah. Hi, classmates. Let's go and check if we have any sap in these buckets. Oh, we have some sap in here, guys.
Perfect. Let's start collecting, and then we'll show you how we cook it.
What's these buckets have? Have you been pressing the bin?
Yeah, what do you got, Maya? There's sap in there. It's hard to see, but let's try to get it. It's frozen. You can see it at the edge here.
If there's any.
Oh, womp womp.
Barely
Not
any.
very much. What did you find in your tree?
I found this one.
Is that a watermelon frozen sap?
And I can also turn it into a broken heart and a moon.
Oh, or a moon. Good idea.
And it has a lot of them. No, here. Do you see these cracks? Look from there. Tasty. This is the real sap. It looks like ice, well, it's actually sap. This is sweet. Mmm, yummy. First, we need to make a fire, which we make in here.
And then we've collected all the sap that's filled these buckets.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a big, big cook. So
And we put it in here. Here's
yeah,
some.
sap is about the color of water, and it just has like a sugary, sweet taste to it.
Yep.
So let's pour it in, guys. Okay, pour the sap in.
The fire has to be big. It takes us 8 hours to burn,
To boil
boil
the maple syrup.
the maple syrup. Okay, so we got the fire started, and you can see we're getting everything ready. Yeah. So
And then we're going to close it up and
Yep.
cook. Okay, close it up, guys.
I know.
This is a time lapse from 2017. This is us cooking down the sap into maple syrup. Look at the right-hand side, the big large basin. It's going to be emptied soon. Watch it closely. There, they did it. They emptied out the maple syrup and now filled it back up with buckets and buckets full of sap. As we burn the fire, the heat makes the sap boil, causing the water in it to evaporate. See all that steam? That's called evaporation. Then the sugar is left in the sap and it starts to turn a golden color. Golden brown, deep brown, that's when we know we have maple syrup. Now, start to watch the left-hand side. That sap has cooked down very low. It will be emptied soon as well. There they did it. They emptied out the maple syrup and filled that basin back up with more sap. This time lapse has taken over a period of a full day, from morning until night. guys remember Nathan's big puck of ice, right? Well, we did our own. We put it in our room and on the stove and started to melt down our puck of ice. There it goes, boiling away. Evaporation is happening again. As it thickens and thickens, we decided to also put it through a filter. We took cheesecloth filter and poured our cooked down sap with all the little bits of impurities like leaves or branches that might get caught in it through the filter. It's good to do this a couple of times. Look what we've taken out of the sap. It's pretty gross. We definitely don't want that on our pancakes. Next, we boil it down a little bit more and we end up with this ooey gooey delicious syrup. So that pot held about 2 liters of sap, and that's all we got from it. That's why we cook in those big basins, because then it's kind of worth it to do all that work. Basically, we boiled that sap for 1 hour, and this is all we got, this little bitty bowl, enough for maybe 1 serving of pancakes.